And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Just doing last minute maintenance here. Hope you're all doing well this morning. Welcome to Wisdom Transmissions Gathering. Let me just go ahead and fix up my cameras here. A little bit more centered. There we go. Okay. So, hope you're all doing well. I'm still just kind of getting ready here at breakneck speed. Hope you've all had a wonderful week so far. We're going to be looking at some very interesting topics here today through Wisdom Transmissions Gathering. I'm going to be bringing in Adronis shortly here, as he's going to be talking about all eyes on the world. So it's going to be a very interesting transmission. I was tuning into him yesterday, just finding out exactly what he'd like to discuss for today. And that's the kind of the feeling of the topic he wants to look into. I was actually just getting a vision of looking at the planet Earth from space and seeing this eye. Right, and just being able to see, okay, all eyes on the world. I get it. Interesting. Anyways, hope you're all doing well. Thank you for being here. We are going to be taking some questions after today's transmission as well, too. So the Adronis transmission will be coming up after announcements, and then getting into Q&A, and then we'll be ending with a group healing as well, too. So we'll go ahead and get started firstly with announcements.
Source Energy enhanced products to repair and rejuvenate the body. From the power of light, to crystals, to bed kits, card decks, and more. View our free samples, tutorials, and testimonials on our website, etheric.co.
Okay, and we again have etherics.co here, and we do have 23% off all products store-wide. So good news, I'm going to be getting a lot more products for AetherX over the next few weeks. Okay, I'm actually going to be developing some brand new products as well. We're going to be getting some t-shirts coming in here very soon. We're going to have a new replenishment of the wall arrays. Okay, so we have all of our different varieties of wall arrays that should be here in the next few days as well too. I'm also going to be starting to create healing yoga mats, working with LED strips as well too, and may also start working together with laser engraving and embroidery on my end within my own home. All right, so I'm getting some new equipment as well too. So I've worked with a lot of people, a lot of suppliers in that sense, and some of them are just very, very pricey. And I could say, if I just got the tools and I just started doing this, either with me or Brienne, can we do this rather quickly? And there are such tools that are coming out. So we're going to be doing a lot of more updating and upgrading of a lot of the AetherX merchandise. So there's more stuff that we're going to be adding. The Radiate time as well too, because I had quite a bit of time just the last 3 months spending on Radiate. It's now starting to light up a little bit. So I'm going to be getting back into creating the source deck. Okay, so that's the next deck of cards that's going to be coming about, is a source deck. And I'm going to aim for an August release for that. So that will be very interesting. And again, looking in some other different products as well too. Anyways, in the meantime, 23% off all products. This is good until April 30th. The source massage mats are still remaining at 10% off. We just have a few left, so you can grab a hold of that. We also again have a special card deck bundle offer that is 30% off, so you can get the body deck, the energy deck, and the mind deck, getting them all together as a bundle, whether you have the physical deck or whether you have the digital decks, and you can get them for their own 30% off bundle. So again, you can check that out on etherics.co. And some updates for Radiate is that we now have the Apple Store and Google Play available for Radiate. Okay, so Radiate is now available on the Apple Store and on Google Play as well too. So you can download it on Google Play. You can download it on the Apple Store. So you go ahead and grab that now. Of course, we have the Radiate REGEN Centers. We're just starting to take some more bookings with people as well too. So again, if you are in Langley, BC, or if you're around the Lower Mainland of British Columbia, Canada, and you want to come out and try out the Radiate REGEN Center, the Radiate REGEN technology, we would love to have you. Okay, we're basically a full-time business. We're opened up. So again, it's like coming to a spa, right, or a wellness center. And basically all you're doing is just laying down a recliner, and you're just having this incredible experience with the full unbridled version of the Radiate technology. Okay, so when you're looking at the app is the compact technology, right? That's the scaled down technology because it works on a single screen. Okay, when you're coming to Radiate REGEN, you're looking at multiple monitors, you're looking at multiple displays, you're looking at a complete and total immersion. As I've talked about before, it's kind of like having or comparing a light shower to like bathing inside a pond, right? So when you go into Radiate, you're bathing inside this giant pond. Whereas where you're working with the app, it's very helpful, it's very powerful, but it's like having a shower. Okay, so that's the whole idea. The app is really just a scaled down version of the Radiate Regen technology. When you go to the centers, because again, you guys can, if you have a business and you want to license the Regen Center, you are getting the full technology. You're getting the full unbridled technology that you can offer not only for yourself, but again, for clients, for customers. Okay, so again, that is where you just go to license Radiate Regen here, right? It tells you all about the members area, the wholesale discount that you get with Etherics. It's a one-time fee for a lifetime membership. Okay, so the membership will always be with you. There will be an optional annual fee for promotional reasons, but the lifetime membership will always be there. And if you're ready to apply, you can apply and check out the form, the online form, and fill it out. I just got another person today who filled out a form, and great, we're doing excellent. So we're already starting to get a few centers in the works right now. So again, if you have a business or if you want to start a business and you want to include the Radiate Regen technology with it, it is basically the most affordable out of any other particular form of large-scale scalar technology that is out in the market right now. Okay, so basically, if you had, for example, like an 8-screen, like 8 display screens, an 8-screen array that we would talk about, basically we would say that that would be good. That would probably cost you maybe about $4,000, $5,000, about that, just with all the equipment that you need. Okay, so basically you would have about $4,000 to $5,000 of overhead, plus you'd have the commercial fee that you're paying, and that would be it. Right now, if you're looking at many other large-scale bioscalar, biomagnetic technology, you're probably looking at least $15,000 or $20,000 or $50,000 or $100,000. With Radiate, to have a powerful 8-screen display unit in your own home, whether it's your home or it's your commercial establishment, about 4,000 Canadian. Okay, so 4,000, 5,000 Canadian, which is probably about 3,500 American. Okay, that's insanely affordable. Okay, and again, like I said, you do pay a commercial license fee, but that's a one-time fee, and then there's an annual optional fee for promotional service, and that would be $300. Okay, the commercial fee as it is right now is $2,000 US. Okay, so you'd basically pay $2,000 US plus the equipment, to which you would learn exactly what that equipment is in great detail when you're part of the members area. And I'm basically setting up the members area that will be launching here in early April. Okay, so that is Radiate Regen. That is for those of you who want to turn this into a business. There is no other bioscalar, biomagnetic, etheric technology that is so affordable, right? Radiate is it. And that's exactly why I wanted to make it in this way, so you guys can take something that's extremely affordable and have something very powerful that you can offer yourself, your family, and your clients. So keep that in mind as you license Radiate Regen for your business. All right. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on to the final announcement, the AetherX Academy. All right, so a few months ago, I'm sure some of you were seeing me promoting the AetherX Academy. This is where there is a 6-module course. Okay, the 6-module course covers a lot of these topics that you see here: Kundalini activation, chakra and subtle body science, spirit healing power, spirit communication, emotional and mental liberation, resonant dowsing, enhanced manifestation, environmental healing. Okay, so our next student class is taking place on May the 4th. Okay, now there's no closed windows for this, which means students are able to come in and enroll at any particular point that they like. Again, the website is etherixacademy.com. Okay, so you can come in and look into student enrollment. I tell you everything here in regards to AetherX Academy. I have a little video here, and just giving you the benefits that we have 6 modules. Okay, with this particular class, I'm really just going to be hosting classes once per month. I have trained coaches, trained teachers who are going to be teaching the weekly classes. Okay, But even if you just want to stick with the recorded material that is on every particular module, all 6 modules of the class, you can do that as well too. Okay, so this is basically, it's kind of like looking at an on-demand course that has live component features to it. Okay, so that is available right now, ethericsacademy.com. There was just so much that I've really personally enjoyed in having the AetherX Academy. I worked with well over 100 students in the past year, and so many of them are just such promising, wonderful, amazing people, and they are really just transforming their life around with a lot of the things that I'm teaching. A lot of the things that I'm teaching the Academy, guys, you will not find on YouTube, okay? There's a lot of things here in the AetherX Academy. Really what we're doing is turning you into the true spiritual seeker, right? Helping you to transform into this powerful, empowered being, okay? And being able to work together with the Kundalini, work with Kundalini activation, working with the Kundalini healing power, working with resonant dowsing, right? Working together with inner transformative practices. So again, there's a lot to look forward to for the AetherX Academy. It is just $77 per month for 6 months to sign up for. After the 6 months, you become a lifetime member. You become a lifetime student, which means after the 6 months are all taken care of, you would be able to access the Academy for a lifetime with all of the material that's here. You would not need to pay after that, right? So it's 6 months. So $77 a month, 6 modules, 6 months, okay? So basically you would stay with the Academy for 6 months with the monthly payments. After the 6 months, you're done, and then you would be a permanent lifetime student for the AetherX Academy. We also have coaches training, but you have to basically be a certified student first to get into coaches training. There's going to be a lot more courses coming in the future for AetherX Academy, but again, this again is our most prominent course here, the AetherX Academy Student Training. So you can check that out now at ethericsacademy.com. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and get started with today's broadcast. So first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and bring Adronis in, and he will be talking on the transmission of All Eyes on the World. I'm looking forward to this, seeing exactly what he has to share, and I hope you all enjoy it as well too. And then afterwards, we'll be taking questions. So again, guys, if you want to leave a donation, that again will put your question in priority sequence. Otherwise, I'll just be going through the list one at a time with questions. So I'll go ahead and bring them in, and we'll get started. I don't think I need these headphones on, so I'll take those off. There we go. Okay, here we go. Soul Star. Sirius. Adronis. We are here. At this time, we bid you greetings and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I'm Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this broadcast being brought forward through your internet collective consciousness. What we'd like all of you to do at this time is simply allow yourselves to get relaxed, get comfortable, and tune in to the vibrations of Sirius so that you may synchronize, harmonize, and align to all of the information that we have to share. Also understand that all of the information that we shall provide today is simply that of our perspective, our point of view. For all knowledge, all information, all creation itself resides within your very hearts, beings, and souls. And so Brad himself communicated with us yesterday of your time and asked us exactly what we would like to discuss with all of you today pertaining to a transmission. Therefore, he received a vision of the earth and the eye upon it. And again, referring to this transmission as All Eyes on the World, which again is quite a wonderful title. When we're looking at this idea, is that we're showing you the preciousness of this particular planet, in particularly relating to everything that she's going through. Now, it's also important to understand that the Earth herself is not the only planet in the universe that is going through this upliftment right now. Every single planet in every single star system, in every single galaxy, is going through their own unique upliftment at this time. As we have talked about, the Earth herself is moving up into a higher heavenly platform. And as the Earth starts to move herself up that higher heavenly platform to another array of consciousness, there will be another planet that will supersede its graduation and will take the Earth's place in that particular array as well. As we have talked about, we cannot discuss what that other planet is at this time because it is, as we would say, way too soon for humanity to know about that. But that again is how it works. There was, again, once upon a time, another world that once held the position that the Earth does now. And that world also moved itself upwards, and the Earth herself took the place. So again, this is like a graduation. This again represents an ascendancy. This represents the idea of an array always keeping itself in order, keeping itself together in balance. The world that we speak of, that in that sense the Earth took its place, is a world that you would not find in this dimension anymore. It has left this dimension because it has moved itself up into a higher frequency. And it would not be a world that you really have a label for. But this world in that sense would be in what you would term as your own local galactic cluster within approximately 500,000 light years. So not really within your own galaxy itself, but within your own galactic cluster, we would say. So again, going to about 500,000 light years, there would be this particular planet that no longer resides within this physicalized dimension that once held that particular duty. And this is going back a great deal of time. So again, just as the Earth took that planet's place, again, the Earth will start to move herself up over time, and then another planet will therefore take her place. But that's not really what we're here to discuss today. We're here to look at all eyes on the Earth, which means not only are your eyes fixated upon the Earth, you would understand that the eyes of many others are fixated upon the Earth, because the Earth is in the center of everything that is transpiring pertaining to upliftment right now. This again is representing the preciousness that she is moving higher up into those higher heavenly planes. And as this is happening, as we've talked about, everything needs to purge through the Earth herself. So again, it is very much like purging a virus. It is very much like purging an illness, and therefore excreting it out through the system so that the body itself can recover. And that is precisely where you are right now. The Earth is helping to evacuate a great deal of the, shall we say, debris that has been contained upon her surface for a great deal of time. And that she is also receiving assistance by many of these eyes that are watching her as well. She is not just doing this by herself. She has aides. She has assistants. She has support. And again, a lot of the support systems that she has would be what you would commonly refer to as those who are beyond your world, what you would refer to as off-worlders, what you would refer to as extraterrestrials. Now, again, what we're telling you here is that your time to become even more fully aware of what is taking place upon your planet extra-dimensionally and extraterrestrially is coming up here very quickly. We have talked about the idea that as you get close between the late spring and early summer of your time, that there will be a lot of heat upon your planet. That this can relate to the idea of nations not getting along with nations. That this can relate to the idea of certain forms of agendas that are looking to come forward. But we will also tell you in that sense that these events, even though they are going to be, shall we say, balanced out, they still represent a very important message for humanity, which is, again, encouraging the masses, again, with all of the eyes looking upon the earth, encouraging the masses to move beyond these archaic systems, these older systems that attempt to breed chaos, war, poverty, starvation, everything that represents the nature of misery and suffering. This, again, is what we are working together with you, because that's the earth message. If you want to work along with me, if you want to come along with me for the ride, say no to that which harms you. Say no to that that belittles you. Say no to that that will not bring about promise to me, pertaining to a greater life, pertaining to expansion. These are contractions. These are literal contractions to which she is going through, like the idea of giving birth to a brand new consciousness, to a brand new earth. Because we will tell you that within the next several years ahead, you won't recognize that particular earth that we're discussing in comparison to the earth that you know now. There are going to be dramatic changes. You will not have corruption on your planet anymore, because the people will have stood up. And that's why these intense events need to take place, because it's getting you to stand up on your own 2 feet. You're no longer laying down. You're no longer crouched. You're no longer seated. You are standing up. And you will stand up by the many millions. You will stand up by the billions. When you see these events between now and the next couple of years unfold, these events are going to be shocking events. And this is why we say all eyes need to focus on the world. With everything that she is going through, does not matter where you are from, whether you are from the east or the west. The whole idea is that as the eyes focus on the world and you are feeling, you are sensing what the earth is going through, this is going to encourage you to stand up. This is what's going to encourage you to say, this is the world that I prefer. And you are going to hold out your hand and say, no, I am not preferring such a world like what these particular forms of media or world leaders or oligarchs are saying. You are standing up against it all. And you are moving upwards because you're following the heart path. Because really, there are going to be many different divisions upon your planet. And we have referred to these particular divisions as the process of repopulation, because that's what's taking place. It's not depopulation, it's repopulation, which means there are going to be those that are going to be leaving the planet. And those that leave the planet have chosen, as we would say, to stay on that sinking ship. The ship is sinking. And at any particular time, with great willpower, you're able to leave that ship and go on to one of the rescue boats and start a new life. But many do not want to do that. And this is, again, why there is repopulation taking place. This is also why many of the new souls that are coming upon your planet are a new species of human being. Which means as the old, in that sense, make their decisions and they go down with the ships, new boats start coming in. New children start coming in. The new youth of your planet are going to become incorruptible. And they are going to develop incredible innovations that is going to bring your culture into an interstellar platform, where you are going to start working together with advanced technologies to assist in the cleaning up of your planet. where the air will be pure again, where the water will be pure again, where the land will be pure again. Will the food be pure again? Yes, it will. Everything in that sense will become purified. You will see for yourselves with these new technological innovations, quite commonly developed by your youth, that these particular systems are going to launch you into a world you never thought would exist. Your oceans will be cleaned up. Your air will be purified. Your food will be clean. There are no more feelings of having GMO or feeling that you need to sanitize food. That won't happen. But in order for this time to take place, because it is a very beautiful world that we're seeing right now, in order for you to get there, you need to move out of this, shall we say, cleanup period where you are standing up tall and moving into such a planet. You are going to see the earth in her immense brilliance once your youth are leading the charge to help clean up this planet completely, which means not a single stone will be left unturned that's not polished. That's the idea. Everything that represents the decay of the earth created by human systems needs to fall. And that is going to still take a few more years before that completely happens. But it will take place. There can be no pollution on your planet. There can be no particular form of engineering or industry that would in any way harm the earth. And if it's still happening, then you're still through the transitional process. Nuclear power, coal power, even your own electrical vehicle power of how it currently is, all of it needs to change. The idea of electrical vehicles is not efficient. It needs to change. And it is going to be, because your youth are going to step in and they are going to have the innovations, and they will not fall or succumb to greed, because in that sense, that is within them to refuse. This again is a beautiful time that you are going to see as you start moving out of the 2020s decade and start coming into the 2030s decade. You will see this unfold. And this is why we say all eyes on the world, because you are going to see a very different earth unfold. But again, you have to maneuver yourself through the sludge. You need to maneuver yourself through the filth. You need to stand up tall, brush yourself off and saying, I'm following the heart path. I'm moving forward. I'm working together with those who want a better world, who want a better humanity. That's where you need to be, and that's where the eyes need to be. The old that represent everything pertaining to decay, or representing the idea of hopeless dependency upon these systems, are not going to make it. They've already made their decision, and it is almost, as we would say, impossible to the degree where they feel that they cannot move into their own harmony. They are too completely contaminated by these systems. The love is certainly there for them, but you have to understand that life goes on beyond the body, and that those in that sense who have made those decisions, who have gone down with the ship, are going to be nurtured. They are going to be nourished. They are going to work together with their true spiritual self and help with their learning elsewhere. No one is ever truly lost. And that is something you have to understand. As we have talked about, the earth is a game of incarnation. And because you drop a body, that doesn't mean that it's the end of you. It's not the end of the player. It's just the end of the character that you are playing in a body. And therefore, that light of nourishment will be there, helping you along the way, because the whole idea here is everybody truly does go into paradise at some point. Once you get past your own ego, once you get past your own fears, once you get past all of these conflicts and turbulence, all there is heaven. All there is the divine. All there is paradise, and all of you will go there. But at this time, it is important to look at what is taking place upon your world, because this is a necessary time to helping you all stand up strong on your feet, moving you forward in a beautiful way so that you become stronger, so that you become wiser, so you know not to go down this path ever again. That's exactly why this has to happen. It's ingraining this into you. We now know what not to do as a people. We now know what not to do as a culture. We now know what not to do as a civilization. And that is what's going to help you to propel forward. The reward of this is the education of knowing what no longer you should be performing upon this planet. What no longer should be applied that is harming this world and harming life, harming yourselves. That's the true reward here, is the idea of gaining the true wisdom of living together as a people, having all eyes on the world. We thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction. We will now pause for a moment and begin with your question and answer period. Thank you very much. All right, that was a beautiful transmission. So thank you very much, Adronis. And again, thank you guys. Thank you everybody for being here. So we're going to go ahead now and get started with some questions. Okay, so like I said, if you guys do have a donation-based question, you can feel free to put that in the chat, as that will put you in priority sequence. Otherwise, we'll just be going through the list. I do have one donation here from Life is Magic, so we'll get to that here in just a moment. But again, feel free to do that. Otherwise, I'm just going up the list from top to bottom. Okay. All right, let's go to Life is Magic. Life is Magic, and thank you for your donation. You said, are insurance policies worth keeping? It is also a system to trap people in fearing for their health, to feed the system. Huge loss giving up, though. Well, that depends, right? Basically, in that sense, you have to understand that health insurance, travel insurance, life insurance is a business, right? And it's all about the idea of acquiring that. So really, you could say that those so-called insurance policies certainly are not given to you by white knights, and they're not given to you by luminescent angels, okay? They're basically utilizing your own money that you are born into, right? Because again, if we're looking into the idea of freemen of the land, if we're looking into the idea of the value of our signature, they're basically taking a lot of the money that naturally belongs to you as a sovereign being and just trying to milk you out of that. So insurance companies basically are one of the biggest scams on the planet. Yes. Like I said, that is one of the aspects of corruption that has to go, right? The idea that they're actually going into your own treasury and requiring your own signature to basically give you monetary assistance. That's the whole idea. That's the laughability of this whole situation, right? We don't even really realize that we have access to our treasury, right? Our treasury is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And again, these particular forms of insurance companies will try to embezzle that. They'll use clever wording. They'll use contractual nature. They'll work together. They'll turn the sovereign law against you, and having you sign something on a piece of paper that now gives them the authority to manage your treasury. Don't you think that that's ridiculous? That's the most insane thing. Well, that's exactly what so many institutions on this planet have done. They have turned you into a corporate entity as soon as you're born. They try to make your name into a corporate entity. This is why we have certification, all of that. And there are speakers, quite a few speakers, that have talked about this extensively. Jordan Maxwell has talked about this. There's another fellow by the name of David Straight. He also talks about this as well too, right? A lot more knowledgeable than I am with this, because I don't follow too much of the written stuff or legality stuff, right? Because I'm not a lawyer or anything of that nature. But nonetheless, that's what's happening. Basically, again, you have this particular machine going in and turning you into a corporate entity where you do not even have access to your own sovereign treasury. Your own personal treasury that is worth hundreds of millions of dollars is basically, through our own ignorance, being signed away to these insurance companies, where they now have direct access to your treasury and are trying to sell it back to you. Isn't that the most insane, ridiculous thing you've ever heard? right? It's like looking at this multimillionaire, has hundreds of millions of dollars in their bank account, but they don't even realize that they do. And you have these sneaky thieves coming in, cleverly creating these documents to basically access your own bank account and steal your money and then try to sell your money back to you. Okay? That again is what we'd refer to as the ultimate theft scheme. It's thievery. Okay? Insurance companies are one of the most notorious entities out there for that. But again, like I said, you have to play your cards in the way that you feel you want them. Some people do have health insurance and travel insurance and all of that, right? And they do not know about these things. And I think the time is going to come where a lot of these are going to be exposed, right? There's already people that are doing it in the underground and in the grassroots that are telling people about your own treasury, that your own treasury is worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. And since birth, we have given the treasury, our treasury, to these corporations, right? That are basically, again, being the ultimate snake oil and creating documents trying to sell your own fortune back to you, thinking that you are impoverished, right? So I would look into a lot of things that Jordan Maxwell has shared, that David Straight has shared as well too, and just getting educated about these things. Like I said, I have a passing familiarity with it, but that's basically the whole idea, right? Basically, the whole idea of many countries is that we serve under Admiral's law. Okay? And you guys might want to look into Admiral's law. Why do you think there's blue lights on police sirens? Right? It's representing the coast. It's representing the ocean. It's representing Admiralty's law. Okay? There's just these certain things that you need to be aware of. Everything in regards to police officers are actually policy officers. They're keeping policy intact, right? They're not actually law enforcement officers. These are, again, things that just blow your mind when you start looking into them. David Straight does a great job in talking all about this. You can find him on YouTube. Right? I've looked into a few of his videos. I found them quite fascinating, right? But this is the whole idea because, again, the Life is Magic is talking about insurance policies. Insurance itself, yes, like I said, it is not run by white knights. It is not run by luminescent angels. It is run by scammers. Okay, this is the ultimate scam. They've legalized it, but it's a scam, right? Insurance itself is the scam of scams, right? So you're right. Life is Magic is absolutely great. It's a system to trap people in fearing for their health to feed the system. Exactly. You got it. They will keep you in fear so that they can feed their own policies. They will feed their own corporations. And that's basically it. They're leeching off your life. They're leeching off the fear of your life. You're right about that. And there's no doubt about that. So like I said, the most important thing is that we educate ourselves. And if that's looking into Jordan Maxwell, if that's looking into David Straight, if that's looking to others in that sense that are telling you about the nature of your treasury, right? Of being quote unquote state nationals. Okay, you can look into that word, those two words, state nationals. Okay, and your own treasury. You can look into that. You'll find some very, very powerful information. I'm not going to go into it because, like I said, I just have a passing familiarity with it. I'm no expert with it. By the passing familiarity with that, yes, insurance companies, police officers, everything that represents our educational system, everything is based upon these lies. It's the idea of thieves breaking into your treasury, getting millions and millions and millions of dollars off of you because you're ignorant to what they're doing, and then trying to sell all of that money back to you. It's your money to begin with. What are you doing selling other people's money back to you? Isn't that the stupidest thing you ever heard? People have fallen for it, though. This is what you know as clever, brilliant thieves. And pretty much every monetary system, political system, insurance system, like what we're seeing here, does it. It's the most ridiculous Ponzi scheme, but it works because they've been able to get hundreds of millions of dollars off hundreds of millions or even billions of people in the world. Why do you think they have the resources that they do? They have access to your treasury, right? They're getting millions and millions and billions and billions and billions of dollars off of you. And insurance policies, insurance companies, again, are the snake oil behind that, and they get the most. That's the weirdest thing. So life is magic. You're on a roll with that. Absolutely. So again, guys, look into David Straight, look into Jordan Maxwell, look into people that talk about state nationals, right? That's the key word there. Look that up. All right. Thank you, Life is Magic, for your question. All right. Let's go to the top of the list here. This is from Mary Jilling. Mary, hello. Mary says, hi, Brad. Who are the Lemurians, please? Well, Lemurians are often misunderstood by the people of Mu, but they're not. Okay. Lemuria was actually a small continent that was contained around the Indian Ocean. Okay. So you have Lemuria, and then we have the giant continent that was in the middle of the Pacific Ocean that we would know as Mu. Okay. So Lemuria is often mistaken for the land of Mu, but it's not. Okay. Lemuria is the land of the Indian Ocean. Mu is the continent of the Pacific Ocean. Okay. Lemuria again would represent a lot of the Vedic presence. Okay. A lot of the ancient mystics, a lot of the ancient teachers, a lot of the ancient elders, a lot of the ancient indigenous. And they basically also had what we would know as structured cities that represented, again, connecting to the divine. Where again, if you look at things like Angkor Wat, if you look at, again, Chichen Itza, if you're looking at all these different sacred sites all over the planet of how they are particularly structured, these particular sites would receive that cosmic energy. They are aligned to receiving powerful cosmic energy because they are generators. All of those ancient cities, all of those ancient, what we now call ruins, but those were cities, and they were self-sufficient. Not only would they benefit the health and longevity of the people that live there, it would benefit the land. The land would be incredibly fertile. You would be able to grow incredible crop just by working together in one of these sacred cities, as we'll call them, right? And Lemurians were wonderfully gifted with that. Basically, a lot of their cities, their ancient ruins that we would know, of course, it was also subsided, but through a war that took place. There's a lot of wars that took place on this planet going back hundreds of thousands or even millions of years. And a lot of giant land masses that were once on this planet have either submerged or they've moved, okay? Or they've broken up and they have, again, just remnants of them remain upon the surface, okay? So we could basically look at the idea, like I said, Antarctica being in that sense one of those supercontinents, okay, representing connections with Atlantis, okay? But when we're looking at Lemuria, it does represent, it was quite a large landmass, so we could almost say there was its own continent. I'm not too sure if they're using it as a big island or if they're saying that it was a continent itself. But Lemuria was very, very different. And like I said, it had the ancient Vedics. So I would say that you had a lot of different people of color that were upon that land, right? You had Indians, you had Asian, you had Chinese, you had Oriental, you had the white man there as well too. So again, it was a mixed culture, and a lot of them lived in harmony for a very long time. And that was one of the very early civilizations, right? So you could look at Lemuria, you could look at Mu, you could look at Atlantis, right? And those would be kind of like the trinity there: Lemuria, Mu, and Atlantis. And Mu was kind of like the motherland of the West, okay? And of course, we could say Atlantis was kind of like a culmination of many different civilizations of the East, right? But Africa has really, really stood the test of time. Africa would probably be the most ancient of lands relating to the footprint of humanity. But again, that's a different discussion because you're talking about the Lemurians, okay? So Lemurians is just the name that we have given the people that once existed upon the land that was residing within the Indian Ocean, okay? Lemurians are very, very different than the Mu, okay? We can basically just refer to them as the Mu, okay? Not to say that there weren't descendants there, but Lemurians had their own particular civilization. Like I said, they knew of the ancient ways of building, of construction, of architecture. They would study nature. They were also getting assistance from the stars, right? And they would be taught how to build these ancient structures in sacred geometrical patterns, in, again, shape geometry that would turn these sacred sites into power generators, okay? And so they lived very, very fruitfully. They had, again, a great deal of fertility upon the land. They were very peaceful. They were able to communicate telepathically with other different villages, cities, sacred cities upon their lands as well too. It was a very harmonious time, but of course a time came along where the polarity started to ensue, and then the idea of favoritism, and then the idea in that sense of rulership came about, and that led into Lemuria's decline. The same thing happened with Mu, the same thing happened with Atlantis, the same thing happened with many other different civilizations, the Roman Empire, right, the British Empire, etc. Just continues to go down the line, and here we are now in the modern empire, and that is about to fall, and we're about to build it back up, because hopefully the world will learn from its karma. All right, so that's what I can share, Mary, about the Lemurians. All right, thank you very much. Okay. This is just a quick question from Christine. Hi, Brad. How do I get the free Radiate? Okay. Well, it depends if you have an iPhone or if you have an Android phone. Okay. So just go to either the Apple Store or go to Google Play. Just download it. Guys, it's already free. As soon as you download it, it's free. Okay. You already automatically get the free version as soon as it's downloaded. Go ahead and try out the free version. You love it? Then go ahead and you can upgrade to the premium version. That's a one-time payment of $33 US. Okay, and again, some people, oh, Brad, it's coming up here as $45 and $53. That's your local currency exchange. That's your exchange from $33 US. Okay, 33 US dollars is the base price of the premium version of Radiate. Okay, so if you see it different, that is mainly because of the exchange rate. I believe that also Google Play and Apple Store may also collect a small fee as well too. Okay, that's their own thing. That's how it is, guys. Okay. But again, as soon as you download Radiate, you have the free version ready to go. Okay, so just download the Radiate version, download the Radiate app on your iPhone or on your Android phone. Okay, it's the exact same thing as any other app that you have ever downloaded. Works the exact same way. All right, I'm not turning this into some alien app that is impossible to download. It is exactly the same as any other app that you would download in the past. Okay. Just treat it the exact same way. So we do have a premium version, and you can upgrade through Google Play or through Apple Store. Okay. Thank you very much. And I kind of get that from people. Like, Brad, how do I download this app? Guys, have you never downloaded an app before? I mean, you have a phone, you have apps on it. Why is there this weirdness of concerning about an app? It's the exact same construction. Because I've hired some really incredible production developers for the app. It's really no different. I'm kind of confused by that. Maybe you guys can fill me in on why you feel you're confused. Like you have this app, you have this phone, you have apps, right? Radiate's the exact same as any other app, not in regards to its features, but just in regards to how it appears on your phone. Just a little weird to me, that's all. Maybe you guys can explain that to me. Okay, let's go down further here. Okay, this one here is from Fiona. Fiona says, any insight into graphene oxide and hydrogel that seems to be affecting people's health or worse? Is this affecting the unjabbed too via shedding? Any protocol to get this out of the system? Okay. Well, Radiate would be one of the things that could help you getting out of that system. Etherics would also be good. Okay, a lot of the things that we have with the healing code cards. Okay, the biotoxin eliminator in the body deck can help with that. Okay. Even if you guys are familiar with the medical mediums procedures pertaining to heavy metal detox, that could also be a very good benefit as well too. Are there ways? Absolutely. Even through meditation, you can do this. You basically program your cells to look for graphene oxide and hydrogel within the bloodstream, and you basically have super cells that are being created through the manifestation of your own intention to purging them out of the body. And all you're doing is you're meditating on a single cell, and you're making that single cell a super cell. And that super cell is now being designed to clear out graphene oxide and hydrogel. Okay, so you're putting it in there. So you may want to be familiar with what graphene oxide looks like or what hydrogel looks like. You want to have that familiarity, and you're building a cell within your own consciousness, within your own intention. And then you're seeing that cell divide and seeing it in the thousands, right? Or the hundreds of thousands or the millions. And you're commanding that sweep the entire body clean, clear out all graphene oxide and hydrogel within the body. So first thing we do in meditation is what? Get into the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, just like I've taught you guys. A lot of you guys are regulars here. You know what I've taught you. For those of you who are new, this is where you're working together with your body through meditation to go into the parasympathetic nervous system. One of the easiest ways to do that is, again, longer exhales than inhales. Okay, so keep your back straight, keep a good position, right? So if you're seated in a chair, you can sit in a chair, and you're just starting to breathe in through the nose, 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. That's heart rate variability. Okay, and there's Rachaka, which is the next level above heart rate variability, where you're breathing in for 4 seconds, you're breathing out for 8 seconds, and you're relaxing yourself, relaxing yourself, relaxing yourself. Hold your hands out, okay, and feel the warmth coming in. Feel your body relaxing. Get into the low idle states. Get into the dilated state where you see your eyes getting dilated. And now that you start to tune in, because your body is feeling relaxed, you're feeling at ease, you're following the breath, all right, you're relaxing yourself. Now you can just start to see a cell in your mind and say, okay, this cell that I'm creating is able to absorb graphene oxide and hydrogel and is able to purge it out of the body completely. It's able to make a clean sweep of the body, and it's able to purge it out of the body completely. And now I see this cell by the hundreds, by the thousands, by the hundreds of thousands, by the millions. And now go ahead and sweep out my entire body. Let it be done. And it will be done. Okay, I've actually done this for myself. Going back a couple of years, just starting to work together with cells of the body, supercharging them, turning them into super cells, and then just sweeping the body clean. And it works, right? That's something you can do, guys. There's nothing greater than the power of your own consciousness. You have to learn to command. If you don't know how to command, this isn't going to work for you. You need to learn to command your body. You need to build, you need to construct, you need to develop, and then you command, right? You develop that cell, you make it this super Hulk, you make it this super cell, and you get it to, again, divide into the millions and sweep the entire body clean. Graphene oxide, hydrogel, metals, toxic heavy metals, pesticides, insecticides, radiation, okay? Stagnant energies, stagnant filth within the body, purging it all out, and it works. Okay, if you feel that's too complicated for you, then you work with the body deck. Okay, you work with the biotoxin eliminator, you work with the heavy metal eliminator, you work with the radiation eliminator. Okay, you go on to Radiate, you go on to AetherX.co, you go into the free samples, you download the concentrator images. Okay, you'll find those on the free samples of AetherX.co. Okay, you download those, you print them out, you can print them in like sticker templates, and you just start peeling them, put them right on your clothes, okay? And just work together with Radiate, and Radiate, again, is giving you all of this goodness, and again, that's also going to help to empower your body. That is giving your cells a charge. That's the entire function of Radiate, my friends. Radiate is designed to completely empower your body. It is designed to increase the effectiveness of your cells. It's giving them life again. It's increasing their millivoltage, right? You're increasing the power of your energy systems. You're increasing the power of your cellular systems. You're increasing the power of your organ systems. You're increasing the power of your bodily systems. You're increasing the power of your chakra systems. You're increasing the power of your meridians. You're increasing the power of your overall body with Radiate. That's what it does. It's not designed to say, okay, this person has diabetes, or this person had a stroke and all that stuff. It's not getting rid of anything. That's not Radiate's purpose, okay? Radiate's purpose is to transform your body, give your body exactly all of the energy it needs so that your body can self-heal, okay? That's the purpose of Radiate. Same thing with Radiate Regen. In Radiate Regen, I do have certain seals on the screen that's helping to clear out viral agents, okay? But really what it's doing is it's really building up your immune system so it has the power to clear away a lot of those viral agents that are in the body. Radiate Regen is a lot more sophisticated than what we look at in the free version, the premium version. It's 100 times more powerful. I say that because of the amplification that is used with multiple displays, right? That's where the power is when you go into a Radiate Regen Center. And right now, mine is the only one in Langley. Getting a couple other ones, getting a couple applications, but guys, I would love to see many of you who are starting a business, who are watching this right now, consider looking into a commercial license with Radiate, because if you want this technology, this is probably the most affordable bioscalar technology you will ever find on the planet today, because you'll be able to get your own equipment through your own affordability. You will have the video software that you can use, and I'll be teaching you step by step about how to put it together through the members area that you get as a commercial member, or as I call them, the commercial co-creators. Okay, so please check that out. If you're a business person right now and you're watching this, you may want to check out radiateregen.com. You may want to check out License Radiate Regen. And even when you don't have clients, you have your own time with this massive system, and you're going in, and like I said, you're jumping in the pond. You are bathing in bioscalar. You are bathing in biomagnetic light. You are bathing in natural frequencies that the body will use to turn you into a super healthy dynamo, because your body will now be able to self-heal. So keep that in mind. All right. And Fiona, thank you very much for your question. Appreciate it. Okay, let me just see if there's any other donations in case I missed it. Okay, we got a couple down here. Okay, so this is from Sukhbir Singh. Thank you for your donation. How much Bitcoin can top and in which month? I would be a little bit careful with Bitcoin, guys. Okay, like I said, when you're looking at cryptocurrencies, a lot of these particular cryptocurrencies in that sense can be not only exaggerated, they're just not a physical, they're not a physical, tangible way of monetary gain within yourself. Now, especially with Bitcoin, Bitcoin is often used by elitists, okay? And it may still be in that way, which means they may start to create more regulatory laws where they may be shunning you out of your funds pertaining to Bitcoin. Be careful with Bitcoin, okay? XRP certainly has a little bit more leeway to it. Like I said, crypto is part of the future, but Bitcoin itself still has that iron claw grab of the dark forces on it. Okay, you need to be careful with that. So I'm not too sure what your question means about how much Bitcoin can top and in which month. I'm not a Bitcoin expert. Okay, as I've talked about, there will be highs and low periods pertaining to cryptocurrencies in general, not pertaining to Bitcoin, but the cryptocurrencies in general, right? People have asked me about XRP. Be very careful with Bitcoin, though, because it is very heavily manipulated by elitists. Okay, so be very careful with that. Like I said, there can be opportunities where they may even rob people out of their Bitcoin value. Okay, it's a computer system, even though it basically has, crypto functions in that sense. It's not something that you can tangibly hold. You got to be careful with that. Okay, so I don't really have an answer in regards to Bitcoin, like I said, personally. But what we could do is we could take a look at, because again, I'm just trying to understand your question, how much Bitcoin can top and in which month. Okay, well, let's basically do a reading on next month. Okay, let's try for the month of May and see how that goes. Okay? Pertaining to, again, maybe an increase in Bitcoin value. Okay, we can look at that for the month of May and see what happens there. Okay, so it looks like Bitcoin is still going to be going through some fluctuations. Like I said, this is kind of confirming what I'm saying. Here's the elitist with a lot of the control pertaining to that, and here's you, right? Be careful with Bitcoin, just with Bitcoin particularly, okay? It is probably one of the most corrupt of all blockchains. It is probably the most corrupt of all cryptocurrency, okay? Because elitists use this. They're basically running out of physical assets, and what have they done? They've basically invested all so much stuff into Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is their asset. I think at some particular point it may be changing, right? It may go through certain changes, but even with what the tarot is saying, it's probably not a good idea to put all of your stock in Bitcoin right now, okay? Maybe some small amounts, okay? But just be careful with that. And I know a lot of people say, oh, Brad, I've had like 5 Bitcoins for the past several years, and I got, okay, great. Maybe you want to consider maybe cashing it in, okay? Because there's going to be some tidal waves here. There's going to be some emotional tidal waves surrounding Bitcoin. I think it may even be going through some infiltration right now as well, too. Looks like surprises are ahead for Bitcoin, and there may be some changes taking place to the Bitcoin technology itself. Again, I think at some particular point, it will shut down, or not really shut down, but overhaul. But right now, a lot of it is under the criminal elite. So just be very, very careful with that. But I'm not really seeing any big surge with it happening in May. I also don't really feel like that's happening in summertime either. Okay, it might be a while before we see any surges with Bitcoin on a much more higher level. Okay, I hope that answers your question. That's the best answer I can give you. Okay, thank you very much. All right, so let's go down to, okay. Well, here's another question that you have, Sukbir. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to bring Adronis in with this one because this is something that I've answered before pertaining to India. Adronis, India is very poor and weak. Why is it so? I don't really see India in that way. Okay, what you're basically describing here is a perspective. Okay, when I looked at India, when I tune into its energies, I don't see a weak country. I actually see a very strong one. Okay, it may be weak in regards to people who are trying to see countries as a capitalist would. Okay, who basically in that sense are trying to see it as industry. But I see it in that sense a very different way, right? And I certainly don't see India as weak, okay? I also don't see India as poor, okay? There are people in that sense who are homeless, who don't live in big, gigantic, luxurious homes or anything of that nature. But does that mean they're poor or they're weak? I don't think so, okay? Some of them have basically chosen to live that way. You are basically looking at the most powerful spiritual capital on the planet, right? And from my particular perspective, India needs to stay that way, right? I think if it basically does its best to resist capitalism and it resists all of this industrial change, the better off it will be. Rather, what I would say is that India is probably one of the last holdouts of something that truly represents an indigenous quality to the planet. Okay, I do not see it as poor, and I do not see it as weak. I see it as strong, and I see it as something that is much more organic and something that's much more fruitful. But that's just my perspective. I'm not saying you have to see it the way I do. But again, I've talked about India before in regards to to what it represents in that way. And it really is the seed of the spiritual heart of the planet. And that's not a weakness at all. It's not really industrialized, and especially in certain areas. It doesn't have to be. You think industry is what makes something strong? That's the true weakness. Those that are basically heavily industrialized are the weakest of countries because they, in that sense, have forgotten their roots to nature. They have forgotten their roots to the heart. And India is one of the last strong countries on the planet. Okay? I do not see it as poor. I do not see it as weak. I see it as something quite mighty, something quite strong, right? Yes, there's a large population. Upon India, you got that, okay? And there's a lot of people in that sense that are taking to the streets in that sense, and there are beggars, and you're right about that. But if you're really looking at the heart of India, the essence of the culture itself is all about the spiritual will. It is all about the spiritual light. It is all about the spiritual heart of the planet, and you see it, right? You can have people in that sense that are homeless. Maybe they're severely sick, but they have a smile on their face, right? They don't need luxury to fulfill their heart. That's a beautiful thing that I see with India. So again, I'm giving you a perspective here, but from my own perspective, India is not poor and India is not weak. It's one of the strongest countries there is. Okay, that's my perspective on it. All right, thanks again for your question. Okay, I'm just scrolling down the list to see if there's any more donation-based questions. No, I think that's it. All right. So we're going to take a few more questions, guys, and we're going to go into group healing here very shortly. Okay. I'm just going to go back to where I was here. All right. All right. So let's see here. Okay, this is an interesting one here from Judith. Judith says, Brad, do you have any insight on the metal monoliths that have been piling up from underground in many different places? I just watched Tarot by Isabella on YouTube, and I know her, by the way. I've tuned into her video. She's very good. Tarot by Isabella on YouTube, recommended by Janine. She is amazing. She's really good. Yeah. There's a person that I was talking to when I was doing my UK tour, and he recommended her as well, too. So, yes, I do know exactly what we're talking about. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to bring Adronis in for this, okay? And looking into a lot of these different monoliths, right? As we know, the moon of Phobos is notorious because there's a monolith on the surface of Phobos, right? And there have also been other particular stories around the internet about the idea of other monoliths that have been may actually be submerged underground that are being discovered, or again, monoliths that are actually starting to pop up at the surface. They've also had scammers relating to certain monoliths in the past as well too, where they would build a monolith and it basically didn't have any quality to it whatsoever. But we're basically going to focus on the genuine monoliths here, and I'll bring Adronis in and he can talk a little bit more about monoliths. All right, one moment. We thank you very much for your question, and we will speak on the idea of what you refer to as the monoliths on your planet. These, again, represent, as you would term, certain type of technology that has been left here by your ancient races. Now, it will not really be activated by human beings at this time because they're not the controllers of it. A monolith would basically represent a remote display. It would represent a remote information gatherer. It also represents a type of arc. All right. The monoliths that you would understand are basically types of databases, and they also monitor life, and they are also backup systems, which means many different planets, even just throughout your star system, have more than one particular monolith. Some can be available on the surface that you may see. Some of them may be buried underground and at some particular point unearthed and therefore moving themselves upwards. Now, you will notice that the genuine monoliths that you would find upon your planet would be through the current technologies that you would have in your modern society to be known as being indestructible. All right? You would not be able to destroy them, which means you could level the entire land with a nuclear device and the monolith will still be intact. All right? These are the genuine monoliths that have been left behind by your ancients, and they are databases. They are all connected. Think of them as a type of remote server, and they collect information pertaining to the life upon the planet. They monitor life. They are aware of, again, all different forms of seeds of life. And if need be, they can act as arcs or portal devices and basically being able to back up appropriate life forms that need to be backed up on the planet in the event of certain degrees of extinction. So again, monoliths themselves are a technology. They are an ancient technology. They are an indestructible technology. And they are a database technology. They are a type of spiritual server. That's their nature. The humans do not know how to activate them, nor will you unless you actually have those who have developed these monoliths coming back at some particular point telling you how they work. You will not be able to activate them. You will not be able to turn them on. You will not even be able to interface them because you are not its creator. It is specifically designed to respond to the creators of the monoliths. So again, you refer to them as monoliths. We would refer to them as arcs. Arcs that, again, are responsible for maintaining and surveying and therefore databasing all life upon certain planets, keeping a library intact. They are also librarians of life. They are autonomous. They work together through the power of thought, of telepathy, and they can show you other worlds. Again, if you know how to activate them. They will tell you about thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of different worlds, millions of different species, if you know how to activate them, which you don't. So therefore, you will discover that there are a multitude of different monoliths buried deeply within your planet, because again, they are the librarians, they are the arcs, they are the database that is helping to keep everything together intact on the planet, to where, if need be, an emergency situation, they would function as arcs, and basically being able to collect the remains of particular species that need to be salvaged on a world, and placing them with, as you would say, in a safe domain. That is what we can share pertaining to the arcs, or monoliths, as you term them. We thank you. All right. That's some fascinating information about monoliths, or again, as Adronis calls them, arcs. Right? Very, very cool. All right. So again, thank you, Judith, for that question. And like I said, yes, I am familiar with Tarot by Isabella. Maybe I'll have to get her on the program one day. Could probably talk to her. I think she's a great tarot reader. I was actually just watching a video of hers the other night as well too. So yeah, she's great. She's excellent. Okay, let's go down a little bit further. Okay, let's take a look at Babito 7's question. I think we're going to take about 2 more questions after Babito's, and then we're going to get right into group healing. Okay. So this one here is from Babito 7, and question for Adronis: could you discuss the concept of our higher self? Is it true that it resides within the 6th density? Okay, one moment. We thank you very much, Babito 7, for your question. The higher self resides everywhere. All right. It does not have an origin location other than being that of your own soul. That's the nature of the higher self. The higher self is able to move into any dimension. The higher self is able to be omnipresent because it is the omnipresent nature of yourself. That is the higher self. The higher self is the ambassador of the soul. All right. You have, again, what you would term as the living soul entity to which you are. That is your personality consciousness. That personality consciousness is, again, an attributional nature of the higher self. The higher self does not reside within a particular ladder representing the mind of all that is. It is able to be anywhere, be anything, be everything, be everyone, be nothing. That's the nature of the higher self. So again, many of you, when you look at the nature of the higher self or the soul in that sense, you want to try and give it some particular dot on a map and saying, aha, there it is. And we basically pull that map down and we scrap it and throw it in the garbage and saying, no, you're not even close. Because if you're looking at that map, it is that map, and then it isn't. And your intellectual, logical mind starts to boggle. What are you talking about? Doesn't the higher self exist in some domain, et cetera, et cetera? Existence, 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 existence. Your higher self does not have a physical body like you do. Your higher self is an energy. Your higher self can manifest form. It is the mind. It is everything that resides within the mind. The higher self represents the architect of the mind for you. It does not have a location point. It is omnipresent. That's the nature of the higher self. When you are tuning into the higher self, you are feeling something that represents a centeredness. You are feeling your omnipresent nature with all life. You are feeling great love, great joy, great bliss. And those represent the attributes of the higher self. But the higher self is not just some confined aspect. The higher self resides within you. That is its origin point, within yourself, not within some density, not within some dimension. It has access to all of that. It is all of that. You and the higher self are one. Do not look for it through a location. You are, again, going the wrong way. You're going south. If you want to truly go to true north, understand that the higher self is within you. Understand that the higher self is everything. Understand that the higher self is the architect of your life. Then you're going somewhere. Then you're walking down true north. All right? Something important to remember. We thank you for your question. Okay. Thank you, Babito, for your question. All right, so we're going to do 2 more questions, and we're going to go to healing. Okay. Okay, here's one from Duck Deacus, I guess the name is. Interesting names, guys. Love them. All right. So Duck Deacus says, question, how do family structures for ET races compare to the typical Earth nuclear family of husband, wife, and 2 kids? What's the common structure across this galaxy? And this has been something that's been asked before. And Adronis says there is no family structure. Okay. Really, when you're looking at interstellar civilizations that really have got it together, family is not really important. Okay. Basically, in that sense, is that when a child, let's look at off-worlders, when an off-worlder child is born, they're only with their parents for a very, very short time, just up into the point to where they are capable. When they are capable, they will go throughout their community and they will start learning from others. Quite commonly, this can happen to what we would refer to as the equivalence of about 3 years of age. They will actually start to go on their way and start working with community members, right? Family, in that sense, would represent the entire civilization. Okay, it is not as boxed in and truncated as our delusional states to what we refer to as how we handle families here on the planet, because we're just awful with handling it, right? Their whole idea is that family forms hierarchies, and families are at each other's throats, and they're fighting with each other, and they need each other, and there's favoritism, and there's hierarchies, and it's a mess. That is not at all how it works in the interstellar communities. Okay, Adronis has talked about this quite extensively, where the idea of family as you know it does not exist in the interstellar communities. Really is no such thing. It is a higher family, right? Because everybody from these off-world civilizations, again, that have their act together and are highly advanced, are very well aware of other lifetimes that they have had, right? They don't box themselves in and thinking, well, there's my biological mom and biological dad, I need to stay with them until I'm an adult. No, they don't. And that really does not happen at all. They are able to, as soon as they are capable of independent thought, of their body itself being able to think for itself, they're off. And they will go to other community members. They will go to other people that they can learn from. They will learn about gardening. They will learn about growing food. They will learn about building. They will learn about architecture. They will learn about mathematics. They will learn about language. They will look at all these different things, and they will go to different people, and they're led by synchronicity, right? They're led by their own guidance. They are learning to talk the language of intuition, right? And it's not to say that they're on some spiritual path or anything. They're not, right? This is just how they live. They live through the basis of synchronicity. They base themselves through intuition. Their intuition is their known language. We haven't discovered that yet because we've been basically living in a cesspool for thousands of years and basically have had a lot of this knowledge taken away from us. But ancient humanity knows this. Modern day humanity doesn't have a clue. Okay, we're too dumbed down. Okay, so but that is going to be coming back in time. Will probably take quite a few generations, but it is going to be coming back. Okay, and like I said, you're led by intuition. You're led by synchronicity. You're led by spontaneity. Just people show up at the right time. Events show up at the right time. Everything harmonizes together with you, and you're all in sync with each other. And that's the true family. That's the higher family. The higher family is life. Life is the family. Okay, we have completely forgotten that, and this is exactly why so many of them are looking down at the planet saying, why aren't they talking to each other in the heart? Why aren't they talking to each other in the mind? Why aren't they being led by synchronicity? Oh, well, they forgot how to do that. That's the reaction we get, guys. What? They've forgotten how to tune into themselves? How is that even possible? Because they've been meddled with. They've been dumbed down. Their genes have been tinkered with by other different civilizations that basically wanted just to harvest a lot of the resources off their planet. And the humans took that. They were ignorant to the idea because they didn't know that this was happening. They saw those particular extraterrestrial beings that came down that called themselves the Anunnaki, that called themselves the Elohim, that called themselves El, and basically fell for it and started performing slave labor to give the resources of gold and precious ores to other civilizations, so civilizations could take those resources and repair their planets. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Well, that's exactly what's happened. Okay, so there you go. And of course, they had to run forward with that slaving program because their genes have been manipulated, and these other beings are referring to themselves as the humans' gods. That's so stupid, but that's what's happened. It's like, how would another alien race create humanity? That's not even possible. Well, that's what they think has happened. Because you're looking at these other offshoot races coming here, thinking that themselves, that they are the master, and enslaving humans, trying to convince them that they created them. Yeah, exactly. That's not even close to being true. Exactly. But that's what they're being fed. That's what they're being told to write. The history is being written by the winners. And so they're telling humanity, we're your creators. Bullshit. No, you're not. You're not even close to being a human creator. You're a tinkerer. You tweak genes here and there, but you're not even close to creating humanity. No extraterrestrial civilization created humanity, right? And that, again, is what we're being fed. We're being told. That's all wrong, right? When you're looking in the idea of humanity's development, it comes through ourselves. It comes through master architect. It comes through a master architect going beyond an extraterrestrial realm and moving into the higher planes of divine creation. That is what engineered humanity, right? So again, you have these low-level beings convincing people that you are their creation, and they're full of shit, right? Even when you look at Zecharia Sitchin's stuff, a lot of it's a bunch of BS. No offense, but it is. And basically, in that sense, it's not to say that he did that. It's, again, it's a lot of stuff that's written throughout history, which is a bunch of crap. Okay? Like I said, history is written by the winners. Oh, yeah, we created humankind, and we put them on this path, and we made them from the scratch. Yeah, bullshit, you did. You didn't. You tweaked with their genes. You compressed important genetic sequences, and you dumbed them down to being a slave race that is completely dependent upon you. Yeah, that's kind of what we did. There you go. You're looking at tinkerers, not creators. When you're looking at the Nephilim, when you're looking at the Anunnaki, when you're looking at the Elohim in that sense, that's not even really what they are. They use those terms. They use those expressions to convince people that they are the gods when they're not, because they're no gods. They're not even close to it, right? So to think that those particular types of races created humanity is a joke. It's not how it works. You have to go up into the architectural planes. You have to go up into the creative planes to truly see the architecture that represents not just humanity, but all life. Beings in this plane can only tinker. They can only manipulate. They can't create. Creation, in regards to the nature of life, cannot happen in this plane. You have to move up further into the architectural realms, into the divine architectural realms, and it comes down like a vortex. Right? Adronis has explained this in the past about the nature of the creation of humanity. You can find that on my YouTube channel. Okay, about humanity's creation, about humanity's beginnings. Right? That is much more of the truth. Right? So again, a lot of stuff that we're being told in books, bullshit. Right? A lot of these so-called experts who are telling you how humanity was created by aliens are full of crap. Right? That is not how it works at all. And unfortunately, a lot of people are suckered into that and thinking that that's how it is. But that, again, represents the nature of how humanity itself was so dumbed down, because we had tinkerers. We had beings that came in, low-level beings, who were, again, basically just riffraff, coming in because they didn't know how to repair their planet. They were idiotic to it. They would be able to work together with the power of their consciousness and repair their planet, no problem, but they were so disconnected with the source, they have to go and they have to scavenge, and they have to again, act in their riffraff nature, and then they see humanity, this promising, beautiful civilization, and then they convince them and fool them that they're gods. And then you had kings and queens and emperors saying, okay, yeah, go ahead and do this, my master, right? And they're just being convinced, these humans, they fell for it, they're so stupid, right? And that's what happened. We were convinced that these were the gods. And that was our ignorance, and that was our stupidity, thinking that these were gods, and they're not gods, they're aliens, right? And that's what we've been convinced with. And we've run with that for thousands of years. And that, again, is what continues the dumbing down of humanity up to a certain point where humanity now starts to get its unraveling happening, right? And then our understanding of humanity will be just very much the same as the interstellar community. Life is family, right? So it is nothing like what we learn about what humanity is like on the planet today, because that's wrong. That's not family at all. Family is life. We always honor the ones who brought us into the world, right? They're part of that life family, but they are not the entirety of that life family. That, again, is a draconian aspect. It's like looking at a caste system, okay? So when you're looking in the idea where you have to be with the mom and the dad and the brothers and the sisters, and you have to be there for a long time, and you have to be loyal to them, you can't be loyal to anybody else, you're looking at draconian philosophy, okay? That is a draconian philosophy. Family is life. Everybody is family. All humans, all animals, all vegetation, all nature, all elements, everything that makes up life is true family. This is what the interstellar communities know. And that's why they learn from life, not just from a caste system that is draconian in nature. We've been taught to live as draconians. That's basically it. Everything that represents our modern ways of life, of how we treat each other, draconian, 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 draconian. That's what it all is. And all of it's got to go. And looking into life, looking into family as that true nature of life. All right. So I hope that makes sense to you, Ducticus. Thank you again for your question. Okay, guys, we're running out of time here. It's now 9:30, so we're going to get into group healing. So again, thank you everybody for your questions. I'll be back tomorrow too, again, at 8 a.m. Pacific time for the signposts. Okay, so like I said, I won't be bringing Adronis in for the signposts. This is mainly for current events. Okay, so that's taking place tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Okay, now we're going to get into some group healing. Okay, and what I'm going to do with you guys today is we're going to do some prana transmission technique, right, together with release ball. Okay, so get yourselves nice and comfortable, right, making sure the spine is nice and straight. We're going to take a few breaths first. Okay, we're going to do some heart rate variability breath. We're going to do 5 rounds. Okay, so just breathing in for 4 seconds, breathing out for 6. Okay, so spine straight, swallow the saliva, take a deep breath in through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and one more time, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and relax. Now that is what you want to keep doing. We're just doing 5 for demonstration purposes, but I'd say doing 5 minutes of that is what's going to help you to relax, keeping your hands out, palms facing outwards, feeling the warmth, feeling the heat, feeling the tingles in the spine, feeling the tingles in the skin, right? Maybe being aware of your eyes as you open them, seeing if they're dilated. That is getting you into a low vital state. That is getting you into a subtle state of being. That is getting you into what I call the dilated state of being. Okay, you want to dilate yourself. You're opening yourself. You're expanding yourself. You're feeling calm. You're feeling relaxed. You're feeling centered. And now we can do the work. Okay, so right now I just want you just to put your hand upon your heart. You can either put one or both hands. That's fine. And just tuning in and just ask yourself, what does my body need right now? Okay, what does my body require? Okay, anything that needs to go, anything that needs to be released. Okay, and just be aware of that. Okay, once you are aware of what you want to release, of what your body requires, bring your hands together, rub them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, create a little chi ball. And just having that chi ball and just letting everything within the body just funnel within that chi ball that needs to go. Okay, everything that represents turbulence, anything that represents chaos, anything that represents stagnancy, mentally, emotionally, physically, just putting it into the ball right now. Okay. Just feel all of that in there, whatever maybe has happened. Maybe there's been some hard times here over the past few weeks, couple months, whatever it may be. Just put it in the ball. Don't worry about following the story. Just take the essence of it. Okay, it was regarding this situation. Okay, put it in the ball. Okay, I got a sore back. Okay, just put it in the ball. Have that feeling. Be aware of that feeling. Intend it to be in the ball. Okay. So now that we're putting all of that into the ball that needs to be there, we're just taking that ball and we're just holding it. Okay. And we're just going to start Om chanting directly into the ball. Okay. So we're just Om chanting 3 Om chants. And that Om chant is just putting itself directly in the center of the ball. So when you're Om chanting, you're putting it into the center, the nucleus of that chi ball that you're holding right now. Okay. And you're just letting the Oms do the work, which means you don't have to do anything other than chant Om. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. You've already told yourself, I'm ready to let this go, ready to purge this from the body. It's in the ball. I'm ready to let this go now. Great. Okay. So now we're just doing that with Om chanting. So why is Om chanting powerful? Because the vibration of Om is the purity. It is what absorbs everything back into the ether, right? It is the projection of source vibration. It is the projection of scalar. Okay. And that is what absorbs everything pertaining to debris, pertaining to everything that is out of harmony, and bring it into harmony. It's a purifier. Okay. Om vibration is the purifier of the universe. That's why it's so powerful, because of its sound vibration that it holds that represents the vibration of source consciousness. Okay. So again, putting it directly in the center nucleus of the ball. And I'm going to do it out loud. If you want to do it out loud with me, or you want to do it internally, completely up to you. Okay, we're going to do 3 rounds of it. So inhale. Okay, inhale again, second time. Third time. Okay. And just tuning in now, how does the ball feel? Does it feel smaller? Does it feel lighter? All that stuff that was in the ball is completely gone. Great, then you're done. Okay. There's still something there. Do another 3 Om chants. Okay, just exactly as you saw me do here. Again, aiming for the nucleus, right? The directing of the Om goes right into the center of the ball. 3 more Om chants and check in, right? So I can feel that now, ball completely gone. It's been completely absorbed back into the ether. Okay, so that's what's happening. The Om chant is a dielectric discharge, which means in that sense, it is discharging everything pertaining to matter, right? Anything that represents this solid, stagnant matter in that sense is being absorbed back into the center. And that is exactly what Om does. It's like a vortex. It's like a black hole. It's like an aperture that's just folding back and taking all of that and putting it back into the ether, purified. Okay. It is a dielectric vibration, a dielectric discharge, a grounding. Okay. Because the nature of grounding itself is dielectric in nature, which means, again, it is bringing it back into absorption, right? Dielectric truly represents a type of absorption back into the inertia plane, back into the center, right? Back into the absorption of the ether. That's what you're doing with the Om chant. It's just bringing purity. to everything. And that is what can completely clean out your entire body, is just being able to work together with the Om chant and vibrating it, learning how to vibrate it powerfully. Okay, that's a great thing to do with Radiate, having Radiate on and start doing Om chants, right? You're going to be getting incredible purification with that. All right, so that is our broadcast for today, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you again tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific time, again, both on Rumble and on YouTube here. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you then. Om Shanti Shanti, Namaskar, and may it be well with you. Bye for now.